Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. I'm Jared.
And I'm Kiana.
And today we will be diving in to SB19's Docuseries?
Story. YouTube Docuseries by Cashual Chuck.
Yeah. So many people have recommended that we watch this.
Yeah.
And people have been saying that Cashual Chuck is basically the best.
He's Uncle Chuck.
Uncle Chuck.
And saying that it's time that we learn more about these men, because even though we've listened to all their music, I don't think we know.
Music?
Sorry.
All their music?
No, I think I meant to
4 songs.
No, I meant secretly I've heard them all already. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say that even
some
through all the music that we have already listened to. Does that make more sense?
Yes.
That we haven't really learned. Like, I still don't know all their names.
Right. We did
maybe actually I do.
I forgot some of their names too.
Ken, Stell, Josh, Pablo, and Jacob? No, that's Josh. Anyways, are there... See, I feel like we have to learn about them.
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm going crazy. We just watched Quit, and I'm like on a high.
You're ready to quit.
Yeah.
Okay. And Cashual Chuck actually just followed us on YouTube.
Ooh.
Subscribe to our channel. So appreciate you, Cashual Chuck. The moment you subscribe to our channel, we said maybe we should interview him someday. Or
yeah,
have
when we
a
have more
conversation.
knowledge.
Exactly.
We're just dipping our toes right now.
All right.
So it says, we're going to watch episode 1, The Ultimate Sound Break. This documentary details how the phenomenal Filipino boy group SB19 came to be and how they survived the absolute dissolution of their training program. Dun, dun, dun.
Whoa.
And then disclaimer. Oh, well, everyone can read that.
Yeah. This video is only based on my personal research. I might miss some details and it's possible to have discrepancies, but I did my best.
Of course.
Cashual Chuck. We're ready to dive in, buddy.
Yes. Okay.
18, we're ready to dive in. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
When you hear the words pop...
Oh, there was more to that. I said, but I did my best to get as much accurate information as possible, so enjoy.
When you hear the words pop music and the best boy band, who comes to mind?
Hey, I saw BTS up in there.
Yeah.
What if I told you that the most overlooked boy group in our generation might be these guys? In the last 6 years, these guys turned a small Korean entertainment company into a company that produced the greatest P-pop group ever.
Wow.
Are you proud of SB19?
And you don't accomplish that without making a few enemies.
K-pop.
And you don't accomplish that.
I just want to see what this tweet is. Let's not pass P-pop as original. It's plagiarism. What?
Hmm?
Okay.
Without making a few enemies.
K-pop. Lima pala sila. K-pop pangit.
Some of them coming from unexpected places.
Yun yung iba daw. Parang may ginaya rin.
But behind the group are 5 driven men who were about to transform what was once a laughingstock genre in music into the fastest growing genre of the world.
Ever since we had this goal, and not just for us, but for the entire industry.
Feeling ko hindi pa natin nakukuha yung recognition na dapat para sa atin.
Between disbanding before they even debuted,
all hope is lost parang noong time na yun.
Becoming industry outcasts and getting bashed by their own countrymen.
A reporter?
Talagang grupo na hindi naman mga kataasan ng tangos ng ilong. Para talagang original.
Oo. Wow.
The rise of SB19 may not be the greatest Filipino success story ever.
Maganda kasi yung revenge kasi talaga yung success na ipapakita mo sa mga hindi naniniwala.
But it certainly is the most inspiring one.
Let me know if it's too loud for you at all.
Okay,
Good so far?
it's good. I feel like this is the perfect thing to watch right after Quit.
Yeah,
That we
yeah.
just heard.
This is called Triple, a group of talented performers and comedians from Korea you've probably never heard of. They were formed back in 1994 when the word K-pop hasn't even been invented. In 2002, one of the members made the biggest mistake of his life, which will change the entire course of P-pop history. That member was Jong Song Han. It all started when he left the trio in 2002 to become an entrepreneur. Cult Triple became Cult 2. Most of their fans thought that Songhan's decision was a huge mistake because the remaining members started racking up different awards in the entertainment industry. If he only stuck around, he would have gotten those awards too. But this man's decision was final. He used all of his savings to build an event organizing company called ShowBT Entertainment. Today we know him as Tatang Robin. Fast forward to 2015. The fight of the century just happened.
Manny Pacquiao.
One Direction's Drag Me Down was all over the radio, and Big Bang was the biggest K-pop boy.
Is Manny Pacquiao Filipino?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Fast
I
forward to
think so.
2015.
I said yeah way too quick. Sorry, I'm just...
You said yeah, like common knowledge. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Maybe look. Ask
I
Google.
think so too. Maybe we'll check after. Or the people can correct.
I'm so intrigued. This is such a thrilling
Yeah.
docu-series.
This is like a movie.
Actually, can you put it down one? It is blasting a little. Oh, full volume, yes.
The fight of the century just happened. One Direction's Drag Me Down was all over the radio, and Big Bang was the biggest K-pop boy group, while P-pop has top one project. Chances are, you have never heard of them. But somewhere in Makati, Philippines, an audition was held. Tatang Robin was looking for young talents who would be part of the package of their service as an event organizers. Talents who can perform on their own but can also serve as backup dancers and singers to their main performers. One of the main attractions of the set audition was if you're good enough, you might just debut as a member of ShowBT's first ever P-pop group to undergo a Korean-style training. Filipinos don't get opportunities like that so often, so hundreds of talents applied, but only 30 made it as trainees. They were initially called the ShowBT Musical Gala Team, but then later dubbed as Nara, which in Korean means country, and also happens to be the national tree of the Philippines. If you're a fan who is deep into the P-pop scene, you would recognize some of the future P-pop stars, but one of the most notable ones is this guy.
Is that Pablo?
On the first day of training, one guy stood out because he was just alone standing awkwardly in the corner.
No.
Nung una, ang weird niya kung nagsasalita mag-isa.
He was facing the wall and making hand gestures as if he was rapping in front of it.
Nakatayo siya sa gilid. Biglang gaganon. Sabi ko, anong ginagawa na? Nagre-ritual ba ito sa gilid?
That guy was John Paulo Nasser. He always wanted to be a performer. As a young dreamer, he joined several competitions as a soloist and also as a member of the K-pop dance cover group called PHP. In training, he was the guy who shows up early and leaves late despite juggling a full-time job as a data analyst to help provide for his family. He was selected due to his undeniable diligence and leadership qualities. He is known to have critically acclaimed songwriting ability. Some of my sources even said that he had already written dozens of songs at this time. He's also a badass rapper and was often called a genius but consistently denied it because he claimed to be just a hard worker. This made him the destined leader of the group. He was known as Sejin at the time but later would be known as Pablo.
Wow.
30 trainees are a lot of trainees. It would take a very observant person with an eye for talent to notice Pablo in that corner. So who was that observant person with an eye for talent? Well, he was also a trainee. Stelvester Ajero. He was only a kid when he started competed as a performer. As a dancer, he racked up win after win on a national level with his school crew and became their official choreographer, teaching crewmates 2 to 3 years older than him. He later joined a dance crew called Seyon and went on to win international titles. Stel obviously worked so hard. Amidst his studies and competitions, he also worked part-time as a McDonald's service crew and teaching dance to kids with special needs. There was a point that he worked too hard that he wound up in the hospital.
Wow.
His poor health caused him to lose his earnings and nearly his life. Fortunately, he was able to recover. This made him the obvious choice to become the choreographer of the group. But little did they know that dancing wasn't his only talent. As a kid, he joined the school choir to become the only male soprano and only improved as he gotten older. He easily became the main heavenly voice of the group because his vocals were just out of this world. Unlike Pablo, Stel was very friendly to everyone. In fact, one of his closest friends also auditioned and made it as a trainee. This friend is nothing to be trifled with because having the worst upbringing among the others made him the strongest when it comes down to pure guts and determination. Josh Cullen Santos.
They were friends before.
You're good.
You heard they were friends.
He left home at the age of 16 and it was his decision. From growing up in a toxic environment to being physically abused as a kid by their nanny. I'm talking about getting poured candle wax all over their body. At an early age, he experienced what it felt like to be a member of a middle-class family that went rock bottom in just a matter of months. They got evicted from medium-sized apartments to increasingly smaller rooms. It came to a point when his family had nothing to eat with rice but ketchup and salt. They had no permanent address. Because of that, Josh and his sister dropped out of school multiple times, so they got bullied at school for being repeaters. Sometimes he would even get into fistfights for defending her. Josh had enough of this, so he decided to leave to become independent and started working as an internet cafe attendant. Using his own income, he took the alternative learning system to attain his high school degree. He initially had no background in performing. Not until he found Stel performing with his dance group called Seyon. Josh became an instant fan, and when they connected, Stel became his mentor, which led to them becoming co-members, and they went on to win numerous K-pop dance cover competitions all over Asia. They even met BTS during one of their winning runs in Korea.
What?
So from champions...
Hold on a minute now.
Met BTS during one of their winning runs in Korea.
They're clapping for them.
Wow. Oh, what a moment right there.
Beautiful moment.
Oh, that's amazing.
So from champions to trainees. What else is in store for them?
What an incredible journey so far.
Yeah.
So that's 3 members.
Wow.
From then on, their lives became all about performing in small events and training.
We had one mentor when we were training. Tapos, more on personality development siya. Tapos, presenting ourselves on stage.
We had no idea that the Korean-style training they went through
It's far, far from what they've been doing sa Korea.
was nothing but a mere marketing strategy.
Oh,
But yung skill-wise, parang ganun. We were left on our own.
wow.
They were left alone to fend for themselves, sharing knowledge. They were left
BTS,
BTS shirt.
alone to fend for themselves, sharing knowledge to improve each other with the hope of making the cut. Some sources told me that Pablo had to record some of their vocal sessions to effectively coach his co-trainees. All of that without salary. This went on for roughly a couple of years, and I don't know about you guys, but this for me sounded kind of brutal. It's not easy to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again without any form of guidance. They were also kept in the dark about their debut date. So frustration started brewing until it reached the point when it only took one trigger to call it quits. On one seemingly normal training day, all trainees were already in the studio, except for Josh. On the same morning, the train broke down.
Nasira yung MRT during that time. Nasira yung MRT.
Sinuspindi ang operasyon ng MRT dahil sa power outage.
It wasn't really an accident, but this would still worry anyone, especially the trainees, because it's highly unusual for Josh to miss training. Later that morning, Josh arrived. His co-trainees felt relief because Josh turned out to be safe. You would think that their company would react the same way, right? Wrong. They decided to terminate his training.
Late ako,
Because he
tas
was late.
tinanggal ako.
That was the trigger.
Oh
Nung
gosh.
tinanggal po ako, nag-quit din yung mga grupo ko.
Wow.
Nag-quit din sila kasi parang naging trigger na point na kung tatanggalin mo si Josh,
Umalis kami sa grupo.
ganun mo lang kadali itapon yung lahat ng efforts and passion tsaka dreams namin.
Show BT had two choices: to keep all trainees or to keep no trainees.
Incredible.
The company chose the latter. Everyone left except for Stel.
Parang si Stel lang yung naiwan po nun talaga sa training room. Tapos talagang down na down lahat.
Si Stel natira kasi doon during that time.
Stel set aside all his frustration and remained focused on his goal, while Pablo was devastated.
All hope is lost parang nung time na yun.
In Josh's case, we can only imagine the pain he must have felt to have been booted out of his dreams. Days passed, everyone still feeling down about that incident. Then Pablo's phone receives a message.
Brother, bumalik ka na, brother.
It was Josh. Out of all the trainees, the guy that got sent packing was the same guy who actively convinced everyone to continue chasing their dreams. Perhaps this was the sheer guts and determination from his life experiences in full display. Pablo hurried back to the studio to find Stel alone. But not for long. Josh came back next and took the initiative to convince the company to have them back.
Pumunta lang po ako doon at syempre kung kinakailangan na makiusap.
So back to training, they went.
Wow.
Pero bumalik sila kasi hindi nila ako iniwan.
Wow.
There was only 3 of them for a while. Then a few other trainees started coming back. So Show BT put together a talent workshop to get more talents to keep the business going. This was batch 1. This was batch 2.
Target locked.
Justin de Dios.
Justin.
He got scouted right away because he was a very good-looking guy and already was a decent singer and dancer. When he joined, he immediately saw a familiar face in Josh.
You look familiar. As do you.
Apparently, Josh told Justin about the workshop because the two already had a stint performing together in a dance cover group called Zero to Hero.
Wow.
So Justin as well wasn't new in the world of performing. He auditioned to be a part of the televised Pinoy boy band Superstar, but he didn't even make it to the live auditions. Perhaps it was fate. That group is nowhere to be found today. Justin obviously deserved better. He went on to finish his college degree in multimedia arts while training, which earned him a filmmaking skill that would prove very crucial to their success in the future.
Crazy.
With Justin on board, this completed their prototype boy group.
Paradox.
It's composed of Justin, Pablo, Stel, Josh, Zeno, Kurt, and JP. They did multiple test runs leading up to their entry to Pinoy K-Pop Star 2017. They performed B-Day by Icon in an epic fashion, but they didn't win. At this point, Show BT seemed to have hit a roadblock. The group felt like something was missing. I don't exactly know what happened to Zeno, Kurt, and JP. They either quit or Show BT felt the need to let go of them and get someone who could take this already great group of guys and push them to achieve the next level. The extraordinary level. This years in the making project of Show BT needed to reach its peak. So they started the online auditions. When Josh heard about it, he was like, I know a guy. The guy he was talking about was a pain in his butt because their groups have clashed multiple times in their early dance competitions and their battles were always neck and neck. That guy's name was Philip John Suson. He was such a
Ken,
specimen.
right?
Ken.
He was so naturally gifted that excelling in sports looked like a walk in the park for him. He grew up in the church under the care of his grandparents. He was an artistic kid, so he was active as an editorial cartoonist in school.
Wow.
Nobody taught him how to play musical instruments. He taught himself by just listening to the music, so he ended up becoming a southpaw guitarist, but he later then fixed it as he learned more. He was also a gifted singer as a kid. Every time there was a family gathering, he was always forced to sing karaoke by his relatives. But when he hit puberty, he lost confidence in his voice because he could no longer hit high notes. But his confidence came back after being mentored by Pablo, who taught him how to harness his unique low voice that seemingly sounds like it came from the underworld. When it comes to dance, he didn't know he could do it until he was forced to in order to get good grades during their school intramurals. After discovering dance, he transformed from a guy who didn't know it to someone who can fly.
Wow.
Because of his raw talent, he ended up teaching dance to the entire school and continued on to join the dance group called Amigo 7, a would-be rival of Josh and Stell's crew, Seyon.
Wow.
It quickly became a reverse if you can't beat them, then join them kind of deal. So Josh recruited Ken. But there was a problem. He was hundreds of islands away and didn't have the money. What did Josh do? He shelled out for his plane ticket. With nothing else to lose, Philip went and left his previous life in the countryside. He then trained with the boys and officially debuted with them as Ken, the main dancer, the bass vocalist, and the lead rapper of the group. One thing to note is that they were an unlikely bunch because they wouldn't have met each other if Tatang Robin stayed with his already successful group in Korea. Justin didn't make it in his first audition, so he almost didn't try again until Josh told him to do so. And Ken wouldn't even have the opportunity to join if the Show BT trainees didn't come back after that quitting incident. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the butterfly effect. When a small and seemingly insignificant occurrence has a rippling effect through time, leading to a consequential event sometime long after the initial event. Or as Google would put it, the phenomenon whereby a minute localized change in a complex system can have large effects elsewhere. Tatang Robin's so-called mistake back in 2002 led to forming the future P-pop Kings. In 2018, SB19 was formed. The name of the group was carefully picked. The number 19 is the sum of Korea and the Philippines country code digits, 82 and 63. So 8 plus 2 plus 6 plus 3 is 19.
Wow.
If you subtract both numbers, you also get the same result. SB doesn't only mean Show BT. It is also about their ultimate goal for Pinoy sound to break into the music industry, which is fearlessly represented by this phrase: Soundbreak.
What's this right here?
That's us.
All right, have I entered the Matrix or something? Hold on a minute. Hold on just 1 second. Chuck went off.
Insane. Also, all the sports references, like, you know this is a cool guy. Like,
Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather.
Steph and KD, if you can't beat them, join them.
What? Hold on a second. Before we talk about everything that we just watched, is this Chuck right here? Did he react to our Mappa video or something?
I don't know, but I've never seen myself in another person's video.
All right, let me click on that real quick. What
I'm
is happening?
scared.
Oh, hold on 1 second. All right, how did we not know about this?
How would we know about this? Ah! How does this work? Just skip
What is
through
up,
it.
guys? It's
3
your Uncle
hours.
Chuck
I
back.
know.
Are you gonna sit here and watch it?
Hold on.
No, we need to talk about the
Giving
show we just
another
watched.
live stream. So
Okay, let's get to this in a second.
Or
What-
just skip through it, but
All right. I think the quality may have gone down.
okay, let's
We'll come back to it.
yeah.
Talk to me, Kiana. What'd you think about what we just watched?
Getting distracted over here. Okay, before I even get into the content of it, insane video.
Yes.
The research, putting it together.
Yep.
I'm ready to see whatever movie he makes. That was so captivating and incredible.
Yeah.
To be able to like just story tell in that way. This seems like a very complex, long journey to get to where they were.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking of the few songs we've listened to, and it's starting to make sense. When we say they're real, how are they still so real? How are they making this music?
Yeah.
Like, they went through lots to get to where they are, and we're just starting to learn about that a little bit. Incredible. I love it. I'm just...
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the definition of not quitting,
Right.
right? And this first episode or chapter hits so much harder now after just having listened to their song Quit.
Yeah. It was perfect. We didn't even...
Whoa.
Yeah.
They did quit from McDonald's and Pablo's data analyst job and
Unless they're still doing it. Who knows?
and Josh's job at an internet cafe as an
Yeah.
attendant. I love these stories. They persevered. I mean, especially Josh, learning about his childhood
Yeah.
a little bit. I don't know if we'll learn more, but wow. Just to see, Chuck mentioned it, the butterfly effect, right? A lot of this is like, it can't be written. You can't write a story like this. It just happens.
Right.
Who was it that got fired?
Josh, for being late for something out of his control.
For a train
Yeah.
delay that was on the news or something.
Right.
He gets fired, and then they all rally together, and we're still not even at the point where, or did we just get to the point where SB19 was
Yeah, they're
created?
just created, I think. Yeah.
But I mean, you go through Nara, right? Started basically with Cult Triple, and the
Right,
guy
Cult
leaving
2.
the Cult 2.
No, but then, and I love all these, like different dance groups that they were in and like performance. So they kind of like had connections through it. It really is crazy to be like, wow, it feels like it wouldn't be complete without any one of them. So it can be that feeling of, it's a little scary when you're like, oh, it so easily couldn't have worked out this way. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm impressed by just the realness again. And yeah, I mean, they all stood out. I think Ken came in kind of at the end, so maybe we haven't learned as much about his personal journey yet. But Pablo's vision really stood out to me. Even the mentoring and then mentoring Ken into like, it's okay that you don't have the high notes anymore. Like, this is how you're going to use your voice. And that clip that they jumped to,
Which one?
of him using his low voice.
Oh, yeah.
We need to find that song. I don't know what song that was.
And I think Chuck described it as a low voice that sounds like it came from the underworld.
Underworld. That was
That's
the
it.
perfect description.
That's it. Like every dark film or
Yeah.
movie, Ken can do the soundtrack to. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I think that like mentor that vision that Pablo had, and when they say that he probably came into that training with dozens of songs already written, and you can feel that. You really can feel that.
Yep.
And I just think about that feeling of like, they made it.
Yep.
Like, oh my gosh, wow.
And now here we are in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah. In 2026.
In 2026.
8 years after they formed, yeah.
Talking about SB19.
For the first time hearing about them.
That's powerful. And I mean, it seems like this is a group similar to BTS. And BTS, I mean, I love seeing the connection here.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a mutual respect. And it's been like that from the beginning. But to see a group start off in their home country and just awe and provide such great music and experiences to the people of that country.
Of their country. Yeah.
I think now they're about to go global if they haven't already.
Yeah. Well, they're over here, so.
They're over here. This was great.
Probably as far as you can get. Wow. Yeah, that was amazing. And that was just episode 1.
Yeah.
We have still 7 episodes. There's a lot coming.
Yeah.
There's a lot coming.
I feel like this is a series that we can't watch multiple episodes back to back to back because it's so much.
Yeah, like, I gotta let it process.
Digest it.
I agree.
Yeah. Even though they're relatively short.
Yeah, maybe there's like a couple where we can watch back to back, but this one, I think, being the first one, let it sit, take it in. They've been formed, and now we can move forward. So maybe we'll just keep listening to music and keep watching this.
Yeah, I think so. And maybe if the people would recommend any music to listen to as we go throughout this docuseries, that might be good. Like the song that we heard here. Could that be a good one to listen to before we get to the next episode?
Yeah.
Any ideas we're open to. And maybe we'll check out Chuck's, I don't know if Chuck reacted to our video or whatever in a separate video.
Yeah. I'm getting used to just being on the internet for the first time. So now to see our thumbnail in someone else's video kind of gave me a jump scare.
Isn't it crazy how quickly things can go?
Not with this guy though, because he is on top of it. Just from this episode, I'm like, he would be on top of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
Incredible. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm getting more and more speechless.
Yeah.
As we listen to their music and dive deeper into their life. All right, people. 18, help us out with the pronunciation. We appreciate you. Until next time.